What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the World XP Soccer channel. Today we've got Coach Philip. He's the coach of the Arlington SA Pro team that I joined this spring. We've got him here to introduce this new series that we're doing. It's a little bit of a player spotlight series, so we're going to talk to obviously coach and then a bunch of the players and see kind of what their favorite players are, what their pregame routines are, things like that. And so we've got Coach here to introduce the team and the style and the project and what we've got going on as a whole. So welcome, Coach. Welcome to the channel.
Thank you, Eric. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Of course. So why don't, for the people listening that have no idea who you are, do a quick intro, kind of who you are and what you do, and expand on, obviously you're the coach of Arlington, but expand on that a little bit for us.
From my accent, I can't really hide it. I'm originally from Germany. I live in the United States for 5 years right now. I've been coaching in total for 25 years. Did all my UEFA coaching licenses, and now I started the big adventure of American soccer. My actual background, my professional background is I'm a corporate lawyer. So I worked as head of legal for the last decade in my life. And in Germany, I could always balance it with the sport. And since I live in America, I basically made soccer my main job right now here. And I'm with Arlington now for 1.5 years. Worked with Olympiacos Piraeus before, with the Greek professional club. And so far, so good. So I had absolutely amazing experiences over here. And yeah, it's a pleasure working with talented young guys like you here.
Why don't you tell, if for any potential players listening, I think we'll go for the sporting side first. What's the project like? What kind of team are you trying to build? What sort of opportunities are you looking to provide for players to play at the semi-pro or even to send them on to the next level? Obviously, we've got several guys on the team that have played professionally before, and guys that have aspirations to go pro. Talk a little bit about the environment for the players. If somebody wants to join, what they would expect from the environment, the group, what you're trying to create with this group of players.
So our group, as you just said, is pretty diverse. We have some former professionals, we have some former and even a current national player right now amongst us. And then we have some very young guys. We have some 16-year-olds who basically want to make the next step. The big goal is to create an environment that is as professional as possible without lacking the fun of the sport, because for me that's an absolute essential. Like if it was for money purposes or for professionality purposes, I would probably still work as a lawyer. For me, this is building purpose in my life, what I'm doing, and I try to give the same back to the players. So whenever they come to practice, I want them to leave and think like, yeah, that was a good day and I did something that mattered. And so we're trying, first of all, to create a great team environment where everyone feels accepted and feels like we're getting the best out of them. For the younger guys, we want to create either a college or a professional pathway. And for the older guys, I mean, some that play professionally right now are working in normal 9-to-5 jobs. And for them, this is like a little oasis in their daily life. Like whatever stresses you, if it's family, if it's your job, if it's any obligation in your life, I want them to come there in the evening and leave with a better feeling than they came with. And then we already accomplished something. And since we have such a diverse group of players, of course, the older ones should be mentoring the younger ones. The younger ones should get insights into a professional level and what they normally would not get at their youth teams. And we have fantastic youth coaches at Arlington, but it's always a difference if you play with 16, 17-year-olds or if you have 32, 35-year-old guys next to you that have been in the business for 15 or even 15 years or even longer. So if you want to ask me with one word, it's purpose, because the team also, we want to everyone in this region wants to go professional. If you asked anyone what is your goal in soccer, it's professional, professional, professional. My goal is to fill stadiums on Saturdays and Sundays at our home games. I want to get the youth involved, and this season we had amazing experiences. We had like U15, U14 players coming out, U10 players coming out. And when you hear the support from the bleachers or the kids walking out with us, this is the best what you can create. And um, last Sunday, you experienced it firsthand. We didn't have a good game. We won. What saved my day was our youth players coming onto the field afterwards and talking to the men's team and giving them some little advice here and there. So like, make some more runs into depth the next time, maybe. And a 9-year-old told my striker that, where I'm just standing there and just was smiling. And then they asked for autographs, and it was just sweet. And by purpose, I mean we want to create an identity around the club, and we want to create a community. And we made the first steps last year, but what is coming together this year is definitely showing that we're on the right path. And we also get a great amount of feedback from the parents that say this is absolutely phenomenal. We created the Big Brother program where each of our players is responsible for a youth team and goes out to their practices, gives them advice. And if it's older kids, they can give them advice about pre-game routine, college application, whatever comes to mind. If it's younger kids, they just go out there and they have fun with the kids and they kick the ball around with them. But I want to bring people together, and Arlington is a massive club, and sometimes you don't even know who's involved. And I want to bring these people together with our team and create something very special in this region. And for me, getting and bringing the community behind this project, this is the basis of making the next step with the teams.
Yeah, 100%. You mentioned community and the Big Brother program. Talk a little bit about how those programs or those kind of situations have been started and fostered, and how you envision them growing over the next couple of years. Obviously, you mentioned you've only been with Arlington for a year and a half, but I think the potential for some of these programs I've been out to a couple youth practices. Some of my teammates as well have been to the youth practices. We've spoken to some people in the community. At the last game about maybe some after school clinics for kids after school and things of that nature. Talk about some of those things and how you're trying to encourage the players and the players to be involved in the community, and also how you envision it going over the next couple of years.
So we want to make a difference, not only on the field but off the field. We don't want to wear the fanciest jerseys. We don't want to have the biggest Instagram account. We want to give something directly back to the club and the community. And when our players are going out there, probably the best feedback I got all season long was someone from our U12 team that wrote back in Instagram under a post. He said like, "Thanks you guys for coming out to Friday practices. You make Fridays amazing." And you were one of the players that came out on the Friday sessions for the kids, and just guiding them on the field and just bringing in a bit more fun into the sessions. And the little ones have someone to look up to, and the older ones, I think what I just said, they feel a purpose in what they're doing. Like you go to bed in the evening and you feel like that was an accomplished day. You brought something good into someone's life. And I want to massively extend this program. I think right now we cover probably 21 youth teams. I would love to cover way, way more, and to have all of you guys at least 2 teams, and that we make this really a consistent routine, that we come out at least every 2 weeks to practices, and that we're helping the coaches out in the training sessions, that we motivate the younger ones. And of course, it has the other effect. On the other side, if Eric is coming out to the practices on Friday, our youth players will say, "Hey, on Sunday, Eric is playing. Let's go to these games." And we just want to, yeah, as I said, build the community behind this team, and give the younger ones guidance. And it reciprocates in so many ways. Like it gives guidance to our older players as well, because they feel the worth of what they're doing directly one on one. And um, I think this is one of the most important aspects. And question back for you, why do you play soccer firsthand?
Why do I play? Because I love the game. I got introduced to it at a very young age, and now I can't imagine my life without it. I'm probably at least a few hours every day. I'm either coaching or playing or watching or talking about it, or it's and then I love the coaching and the kind of the one-on-one sessions that I do. Obviously, for you guys watching on this channel, you know that I run training sessions for one-on-ones and small groups and stuff. And to be able to give opportunities to pass on my knowledge to the next generation coming through. Maybe I didn't have the best college recruiting process, and so I'm able to give tips and pointers so people can avoid some of the mistakes that I made, or even some of the things that I just didn't even know to look for, or who to talk to, or who to ask, or things to change about my game that a college coach or a professional coach might be looking for that I just didn't know because I didn't know and I had nobody to tell me. And that's not a knock on any of my coaches beforehand or anything like that. It was just the situation. So if I'm able to pass that on, and then obviously to go out and compete is that never goes away. Even that competitive drive, even if it's like on a video game on FIFA, it's like you always want to win all the time. So it scratches that itch, and then obviously staying in shape and fit is also a nice byproduct of that too. And you feel good, and you go about your day, and you're like, oh, I've got my workout in, I've had fun, I've spent time with my teammates, or I've coached somebody else, and they learned a new skill today, and it's very rewarding for sure.
And you mentioned two very important aspects. You basically mentioned the competitiveness and the on-field activity, but one of the most important points in Europe is the locker room, and it's connecting to people. And sometimes the best moments at sessions is you had your cool down, you're still sitting on the field for 20 minutes, half an hour, or in the parking lot next to the field. The locker room is a massively important thing in Europe. And what I experienced here sometimes when I started playing, players come before kickoff, they warm up, and then final whistle, they're gone. Um, and this is also part about creating bonds and connecting to people. And for me, this is the main cause. And again, I'm a bit older now, unfortunately, not so active on the field anymore. But this is the part we want to pass on to the next generation as well, because America is very individualistic already, and I think we can make a massive part in connecting people and giving them early on this feeling. One of the most important things in life are the people you spend your life with. And this, I think, is one of the most important parts of my work as well. Because there are a lot of good coaches, there are a lot of phenomenal tacticians, there are a lot of great um, coaches in every sense. But like this man management and bringing people together for me is, I think what Yola said, it's 85% of the job, and I think it might be even more than that, because creating a cohesive group and creating this energy between certain people, this is what I understand as my purpose. And um, yeah, best moments this season was one of them. There were a lot. Like we don't have our best season right now, but one of these moments that absolutely make it worth was, for example, bringing two of our youth players in the 70th minute and in a game. And it's just, pride is maybe the wrong word, but it just made me happy. It made me smile. And seeing them after the game, like all of our other players went to cool down, they still stood there and looked around the stadium and smiled from left to right. And um, absolutely phenomenal. And these are the moments that we work for, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree. Last question before we get you out of here. We've obviously we've had some drives for shelters and things of that nature, of other things in the community, bringing baby wipes and things like that. Um, Talk a little bit about some of the community outreach that we are doing as the men's team, just to help out the community and to have some outreach, I guess, basically. Talk about some of those things just so people listening can know. And then obviously at the end of the answer, tell people where they can go to if they want to donate or they're interested in these causes or shelters or other things where they can go find them and support.
So first of all, I have to say or a massive shout out to Denise Lee from Social Burger. She's also the chef for DC United, and she's very, very active in the community and is always engaged for social projects. And she connected me to a lot of great people. We're now trying to get involved with the neighborhood project in Alexandria and trying to give kids from in this area, we're trying to organize free clinics for them from our men's team players. First home game we collected for the Catherine Henley Family Shelter, and they're doing an absolutely amazing job there and have a big need for donations. If you get in there, and the request for help in this area is massive. Northern Virginia is such a rich area and community. And sometimes we oversee how many people actually live there that are in massive need because the family shelter already transformed their office space into living space for families because um, there's not enough offers for that. And we basically said instead of charging admission to our games, we like to encourage the parents and the players that come out to bring a little donation, and there you are again. It's purpose. You know, it gives you purpose, and you're coming out there. You're doing something good, and we want to carry this idea into our small community in Arlington that we have. And by small, I still mean we have 10,000 players involved in the youth. Um, and we will promote every home game. We want to promote a charitable cause, and this is also one thing we want to pass on to the next generation in the club because Arlington already does a lot in the community. They're doing a lot of great things, and we want to make the men's team kind of the lighthouse for these for these collections and just create awareness as well. And George Hales on the other side with the women's team, they're doing an absolutely phenomenal job as well, and we want to cooperate way more in the future with them as well. And just use the potential and the voice we actually have because in the end, for me, working as a soccer coach purely right now is an absolute privilege, and I couldn't be more happy. And but I also think with this reaching people comes a responsibility, and we want to use this responsibility as good as we can to help others right now. And this is what I'm most proud of because when new players join us, I basically say, hey, this is what is expecting you. I'm German, you have to be on time, you need to have your stuff together, you sign up on TeamSnap before games. And the third or fourth point is always like, if you join this team, there is no me and I. It's like it's all about the community. It's all about the team. And if you want to join this team, we asked for different other things. We don't force anyone to go out there and to do good things. Don't get me wrong, but we highly encourage our players. And over the time, because the team exists longer, so we came to Arlington together, but the team already existed for 2 years before. And over the time, I think we found a great group of guys that all have the same values and the same ideas and the same vision of what we want to do with this team. And it grew together. And everyone that fits in will feel instantly when coming to a training session, this is a phenomenal group that I would like to stay with. And then they automatically get involved in these projects. And this is probably the fact about the team I'm most proud of. I mean, we were extremely successful on the field, but titles are great in the moment, and 1, 2 days later, they basically are meaningless. And we want to create something that lasts here.
Yeah, absolutely. Obviously, you can find the team on Instagram at Arlington SA Pro. Um, any last thoughts before we wrap this up?
Um, I always like to talk a lot in front of my players. In these other occasions, I'm not so good, to be very honest, but I just want to get the message out there that Arlington is doing something and is creating something special in the community. And I want to highly encourage all of our youth players to get involved as well. We want to give everyone the chance to train with our team, and we want to develop them as players, but first and foremost, we want to develop them as personalities. And yes, and I'm very
Absolutely.
thankful for having this opportunity at Arlington.
Yeah, 100%. All right, guys, go find the team on Instagram in the description. Link will be below. Link will be below, of course. And we thank you guys for listening, and we will see you guys next time. Peace.
Thank you, Eric.